Good morning, students. So in the last class, we discussed the last topic of chapter 1, that is non-farming activities. So since we are done with the chapter, today I'll discuss the assignment questions with you all. Students, please check that you all have included these points in your answer. So let us start with the first assignment that I gave to you all. The first question was, write 2 points of difference between land and labor as a factor of production. First video, students, I told you all the features of land, and then accordingly you all can compare between land and labor. So I've written one answer here. Land is a passive factor of production, whereas labor is an active factor of production. I told you all that land is passive. Why? Because suppose if we have to grow wheat on land, then the land will not grow wheat itself. Somebody has to work on it. So who will work? The laborers will work. So laborers are active, whereas land is passive. The next point of difference, land is fixed in quantity. It cannot be increased or decreased by human effort, whereas labor is not. So this will be the answer of first question. Moving ahead, question number 2. Name the factor of production that puts land, labor and capital together. So the answer for this question will be entrepreneur. In the first lesson, I told you all that an entrepreneur acts as a boss and he decides or she decides how the business shall run. He decides in what proportion factors should be combined, what and where he will produce, and by what method. So entrepreneur is the factor of production that puts land, labor and capital together. Third question, who own the majority of land in Palampur? The answer of this question is given on the first page of this chapter. So students, I am not going to tell you the answer. Please read that page and find out the answer on your own. Moving ahead, question number 4. Write 2 examples of fixed and working capital. Students, we discussed that fixed capital refers to the fixed assets that can be used for a number of years, whereas working capital are those inputs that are used up in the production process and people require it at every stage of production. So this is the definition of fixed and working capital, and the examples are given on page number 2. So you will read NCERT page number 2 and then you will write the answer of this question. Next one, Palampur is a well-developed village. Justify the statement. The answer for this question is given on page number 1, students. I will tell you the points, what exactly you have to write, but you will find it yourself. You have to write about the different developments that is there or that has taken place in this village Palampur. You will write about the schools, hospitals, about the usage of electricity, about all-weather roads. So these are the points that you will write, and these points show us that Palampur is a well-developed village. So this was assignment 2. Now moving ahead to assignment 2. Students, I said assignment 2, but the questions that we discussed were from assignment 1, and we'll discuss the questions of assignment 2 just now. The first question of assignment 2, what is the standard unit of measuring land? Students, the answer of this question is given on page number 3 in blue box. Please find it out and write down in your copies. Question number 2. Explain the pattern of growing crops in Palampur. The answer is given on page number 3. One thing that you have to keep in mind is you cannot write the answers. You will not write the answers in paragraph. You will write it in points. So for this question, you will write about the different crops that the farmers of Palampur grow in different seasons, point by point. Next question, what is multiple cropping? We studied the definition of this multiple cropping is there in the video lesson also. Plus, it is given on page number 3 also. We discussed this. We discussed the definition of multiple cropping under the topic ways through which farmers can grow more from the same land. Please find out the definition and write it down. Next question. How did Green Revolution help farmers in increasing production? So students, I told you all that before Green Revolution, farmers used traditional seeds. But after Green Revolution, they started using HYV seeds. And HYV seeds promised to produce much greater amount of grains on a single plant. As a result, the same piece of land would give more production. So the answer is given on page number 4. You can find the answer from there. Next question. How did electricity help farmers of Palampur in increasing the farm production? So this also we studied that earlier farmers used Persian wheels, but later they started using electric run tube wells that could irrigate much larger areas of land more effectively. So the answer is given on page number 3. Find it out from there and write down. Moving ahead to the third assignment. So for the third assignment, you got questions related to case study that is given here. First question was, Gobind was a small farmer or a large farmer? So the answer will be that Gobind was a small farmer. Now after going through this case study, we can say so because it's given that Gobind was a farmer with 2.25 hectares of largely unirrigated land. Next question, name the supporting activity of Gobind's family. Answer of this question will be dairy farming because we studied that Gobind and his family possessed a buffalo. Next question, after death of Gobind, fragmented land was not enough to support the living condition of his 3 sons. Why? Students, the answer for this question will be that small fragmented land holdings cause difficulties to grow certain high profit crops. For example, fruit crops require large plot areas. So of course they cannot grow high profit crops. Also with the fragmentation of land, as the land gets divided and so the produce gets divided and also the profit gets divided. So this was also one of the reasons that why fragmented land was not enough to support living of his 3 sons. Next, another case study that you got for your assignment. This was a conversation between 2 farm laborers, that was Dala and Ramkali. So the first question was that why are farm laborers like Dala and Ramkali poor? So through their conversation, we can of course see, we can make out that they are poor because they have no land of their own. They were farm laborers, they were landless laborers. And so they work on daily wages, which is very low. We also studied that the wages that was given to these farm laborers were less as compared to the wages set by the government because of heavy competition. So it was very low. Also with modernization in agriculture, they are facing difficulty in finding jobs. So as Ramkali said that Ghanshyam, because he now owns a harvester, he bought a harvester, so she was getting less work during the harvest season because most of the work was done by that harvester only. Next question was that why do people migrate? So students, people migrate because to seek better employment opportunities. In rural areas, they don't have better employment opportunities. They don't have a lot of work, a lot of job opportunities. But in urban areas, they are able to find jobs. They may be employed, they may be working at some construction site or maybe in some small scale industries or maybe working as laborers in some shops, whereas in rural areas they find difficulty in finding jobs. So that is why people migrate. Now let us move to the 4th assignment. So for the 4th assignment, you got this table and you had to do this in your textbook. Now students, in this table, the production of 3 farmers is given, but we'll be discussing only for farmer 1, and the rest too you will do it yourself. So in the year 1, production of farmer 1 is 100, consumption is 40, and surplus is given as 60. Surplus, I've told you all, whatever you produce, whatever the farmers produce, and then a part of it is kept for self-consumption. We discussed this with the help of wheat. And then whatever is left, that is the surplus amount, or we can say the extra amount. So the surplus will be column 1 minus column 2, that is 100 minus 40, so you get 60. Now this surplus is used as the capital for the next year. Instruction 2, as you all can see, it is given that the whole of surplus wheat this year is used as capital for next year's production. Because students, whatever surplus you are having, whatever you are earning is earning from that surplus only. So that amount will be used as the capital for the next year. And also the production is twice the capital used in production, that is given in instruction 3. So the production for the next year will be twice the capital that you are using in the next year. So in the year 1, farmer 1 is using 60 capital. So for the next year, the production will be 120, double. Then again the consumption is given, that is 40. So what will be the surplus in year 2? That will be 120 minus 40. 120 is the production, 40 is kept for self-consumption. So 120 minus 40 will be the surplus amount, that is 80. Now that 80 surplus will be used as the capital for the next year. 80, again the capital for the next year will be 80. Now again, according to instruction number 2, that whole of surplus, instruction number 3, the production will be twice the capital used in production. So this 80 in year 3, the production will become 160. Again, the consumption is 40. Instruction number 1, students, the consumption of each farmer is the same. So it's 40. 160 minus 40, you will get surplus, that is 120, and this 120 again will be used as capital for the next year. So accordingly you will complete the table for farmer 2 also and for farmer 3 also, and then there are few questions also given below that table that we will discuss when the school reopens. Apart from that table, you also got these questions for your assignment. The first question was, explain the pattern of land distribution in Palampur. So the answer is given on page number 6, that how the land is distributed. Also, if you will go through your notes, you will find the answer, that how many families own what amount of land. Next question, what does Tejpal Singh do with his earnings? The answer for this question is given on page number 10. Students, we studied that Tejpal Singh used his earning to lend it to small farmers like Savita. He also kept his earning in banks so he can earn some interest on it. He also used to buy working capital and fixed capital for his agricultural activity. Next question, on what conditions did Savita agree to work on the land of Tejpal Singh? The answer is given on page number 9. We studied that Savita had to agree to very tough working conditions because she took loan from Tejpal Singh. The interest rate that was levied on that loan was around 24%. That was very high. Also, the amount that she was offered to work as farm labor was very low. Next question, question number 4. Why are the wages for farm laborers in Palampur less than the minimum wages? Students, the answer is on page number 8. Also, the answer for this question is discussed in the video lesson. So please listen to the video lesson carefully or go through page number 8 carefully and you will find the answer for this question. Question number 5. How do medium and large farmers obtain capital for farming? How is it different from the small farmers? So the medium and large farmers have their own savings from farming. Why? Because they have large surplus. In contrast, small farmers have to borrow money to arrange for the capital. So that's all for today's class, students. Today we discussed assignment 1, assignment 2, assignment 3 and assignment 4. Assignment 5 we'll discuss in the next class. All the questions that I have discussed, please go through your copies and check whether you have included these points or not. And in case you have not written the answer of any question, please find the answer now that you know where will you get the answer. That's all for today's class. Thank you, students.